Hi guys, welcome back to the DxO PhotoLab series. We're going to talk about watermarks and signatures, and I'll just give you a quick overview of what these things might be for. Now, quick story. When I first started in commercial photography, we used to get calls from small clients, people we'd never heard of, who had never heard of us, and they'd picked us up from social media or something. We'd do a bit of work for them, send them the pictures, and you'd get a call. If you were lucky, you'd get a call saying, "I'm not quite sure about these pictures, we might want to reshoot," or whatever. A couple of days later, you'd see the picture on social media and you'd never hear from the client again. So the use of watermarks is, we very quickly learned to stick the watermark right across the picture, fade it into the background so it didn't completely wreck the image, but so that the picture was not usable for social media. And miraculously, we always got paid ever since we started to do that. So there's your use case for watermarks. Signatures, a little bit more controversial. Some people like them, some people don't. I think for social media, signatures are a great way of just getting your name attached to the photograph, and then if other people copy it, you'll still see your name attached to the photo. So there's a use case for both of these things. Okay, let's get into it. Let's talk about signatures and watermarks. You go to the FX palette and you turn on instant watermarking. And just to take you around the interface, you'll see you've got preset custom straight out of the box. You only have one preset. We're going to go through the business of creating a new one. And you've got a choice of whether you want it to be an image, i.e. a mock-up of your actual signature, or whether you want to use text. Now, we'll go through the image first. And to do that, we're going to go over to Photoshop. Okay, we'll go through this process right from the beginning with Photoshop. So we take a new file and you choose custom. We want a nice large canvas. And the key part here is that you choose background content to be transparent, because what we want is the signature to at least have the option of putting the signature floating above a colour or above the white part of the image. So we choose transparent here and we go to create. Now the next part is straightforward. You choose the pencil tool, you make sure that you've got black in the foreground, and you simply write your signature. Like that. Perfect. Okay, and then we're going to crop it to size. Get it right up to the edge of the writing. There's my crop. And then we're going to export it, and it's important to export this as a PNG, because that way you keep the invisible background. So you export as, choose PNG format, transparency is ticked on. I scale mine down at this point. Notice that scales it equally, and we do export. Now you may be thinking a black signature is not going to show up particularly well against a dark background, and certainly if you're a landscape photographer, that a black signature is probably not that useful. So let's flip the case and see how we can come up with a white signature. So there's my canvas I prepared earlier. I've flipped my colours here, so white is in the foreground. Now there's a little trick here, because what we're doing, if we write here, we're going to be going white on white, and that's not going to show up particularly easily. So you can put in a temporary layer. So if I put in a new fill there, and I make that some color around about black, okay, and then I put in another new layer. Now we're going to write on this layer at the top. Choose my pencil tool again, and I simply write my name, and there we go. And now I can delete the layer that I put in as background. Okay, so again, same routine. Take this up to the edge of the signature. And export as PNG, keep your transparency, take it down to 1000. Okay, and you can do this with any colour you like. I mean, you might want, black may seem a little harsh, you can go to a whiter or a greyer colour, such as that. And this will change depending, if you're not using Photoshop, if you're using some other graphics package, the principles will be the same. You can change the colour of your pen tool and take it from there. Okay, back to PhotoLab. Okay, so back in PhotoLab, back in the FX palette, and we're looking for instant watermarking, and we turn on image, right? So we browse and we go and have a look for the file that we saved earlier from Photoshop. And we'll go with the white one, I think, for this picture. There it is, and there it is in the picture. So we can scale it. We can move the bottom margin. In this case, I'm going to move the right hand margin a little. And of course you can move it around the picture as well. So any of these 9 preset positions. I like mine bottom right. Okay, and I might just change the opacity of that ever so slightly, just make it blend in. Okay, and that's more or less it. Now you can do this with any colour you like. Your blending mode, I normally use normal here. There's nothing much to be gained from playing around with that. Now I'm going to show you one more trick here, and you might want a smaller signature to do this, but rather than having it floating on the image, this is great for social media. It simply identifies your picture, and you can get that out. But what you might want to do if you're actually printing this off, rather than handwriting on the actual frame, some people prefer a handwritten signature, but if we put it down here and make this frame somewhat bigger, and we probably should do this actually, probably should do this with the black signature, so let's throw that one out, browse, bring back the black signature in here, okay, there we go, and scale that right down. Adjust the right hand margin a little. A little bit more. Okay, and basically you have it. Now you can mess around with the size of the margin, the size of the signature as much as you want. I'd put my opacity back up to 100 here, so you've got a nice clear signature. Okay, so that pretty much wraps it up for signature. Let's have a quick look at watermarking. This is the same concept, but you're going to do something different. So let's get rid of the thing here. Now we're going to choose text, and you can use this to create signatures, by the way, using exactly this method. But what we do is write Chris Wright photography here, and you have to press the enter key to get this going, and you choose for a watermark a big bold typeface, and I'm going to put that straight across my picture, and you change the color to something a little more grey. If I can find it, there we go. Yeah, and just change the opacity of that a little bit. Okay, that pretty much wraps it up. Thanks for watching. Subscribe down below if you haven't already. It would be hugely appreciated, and we'll see you in the next video.